Good morning, my YouTube family and friends. I pray that everyone's having a blessed day today. It is a blessing to be alive. Again, when we wake up on the other side of the grave, God still has work for us to do. And so we must get to that work because it is a blessing to just be in the land of the living. So if you have not told the Lord thank you for another day, please do so. And just let him know that you are grateful. That he spared your life and you are still among the living. So I wanted to hop on here and just share something, just some words of encouragement. We all know that Mother's Day is this Sunday, and this is just a happy early Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I pray that you have a blessed day, and not only for Sunday, but you're celebrated every day in your family. So when I went to look up what is a mother, it says a selfless, loving human who must sacrifice many of their wants and needs for the wants and needs of their children. And then it says, what is the role of the mother? She is a teacher in her child or children's developmental growth. What are the qualities of a mother? The qualities are patience, respect, unconditional love. It says a mother must also take care of herself as well. So as I was reading, the definitions, the qualities, and, all that, all that's great for what a mother should be and, is. But what a mother truly is in the eyesight of God, she's a woman. She should be a woman of God. She prays for her children and she asks God to bless them daily, always, and that I like that, better, because, the world can bring us into this, setting where, everything has to be a certain way and we have to do this, we have to do that. But the truth is, when we come into the kingdom of God, that changes everything. And so I can remember, growing up, and I knew I wanted a family, I knew I wanted to be married, I wanted, children. And so, that's just what I wanted. And so, I didn't really fully know what all it took to get all of that, but I just knew that's what I wanted. I saw these things on television, about the mom was, the husband, the wife, the children, so I was like, that's what I want one day. And so the Lord allowed me to have that as well. And so I'm very thankful. But it's more to it than that, just wanting something. We have to make sacrifices. We have to, pray for our children. There will be hard times. There will be, things that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And the Lord, of course, will give us strength, but we just have to, that it's just part of life. But I just wanted to briefly touch on how I grew up and, how I became the mother that I am today. And I'm thankful to Jesus for that. So, in my home, I can remember growing up, my mom, she always cooked good meals. And, she would, my stepdad, he would, take care of the house and take care of the lawn and do things like that. But she would always, she was more on the inside, of course. So she would cook good meals and keep the house clean. I can remember on Saturdays, the house would smell like straight Pine Sol, Comet, Windex, because Saturday was cleaning day in our house. So I don't know if that's how it was in your house, but that's how it was Saturday. And you could hear it had church music playing. Sometimes it wasn't always church music. Sometimes it was like blues. But anyway, that's another story. But anyway, the house, you hear the vacuum going, beds were made. The house, my mom, she kept the house clean. One thing I can say, her house was clean. It was immaculate, and so that's just what she did. And so, like I said, she always cooked good meals. I can remember laying in the bed a lot of times and I was like, I know what that smell is, it'd be pancakes or something like that. We didn't really have waffles. It was mostly pancakes, but it was just really, Southern home style living. And she just took care of the kids. She made sure we had what we needed growing up. She was a good mom, and she still is. But, you know, I can remember just, you know, being under that leadership of her, and, you know, with my other siblings, and a lot of things I didn't understand, you know, growing up, you know, why I had to do this, why I had to do that. You know, just as a child, a lot of things just don't make sense to us. But as we get older and we have our own families and our own children, we're like, oh, that's why, you know, it makes sense then. But yeah, but she, you know, like I said, she comes from a family where, you know, the women, you know, they can cook. You know, all of my aunties, every last one of them, you know, they can cook. You know, they just cook. They just can cook. They've been blessed to be able to cook well, and some of them can bake too, real good. But you know, they could. You know, if you ask them to make you a dish, you just get ready to have your belly full, and it's gonna be delicious. Just know that whatever you ask them to make. But a lot of things I noticed that, excuse me, that my mom had, like, that she was, you know, the areas that she was talented in, I was not. So when I became, you know, and a lot of things that she liked doing, I didn't like doing. So as I would become older, I would notice that, you know, I don't really like to clean up as much as she do. You know, I don't really like to shop as much as she do. I don't really like to cook as much as she do. And so I can remember, like, I was maybe in my teens, I guess, late teens. And of course I was still at home. And I can remember that, you know, she had chores for us to do, things we had to do. All of us had to responsibilities around the house. But I can remember, like, oh, you know, I don't like doing this, you know. And I, you know, in my mind, I couldn't wait to get out on my own and have my own place, because I just, you know, I don't know, that's just how I was then, you know. But, and that's okay, you know, we all are different. But, you know, the Lord, however we may be, the Lord can change us, and he definitely changed me. But and he can change you as well. But again, as I would get older, I would start, you know, kind of pondering, like, why don't I like to cook? You know, because I would just basically stay in my room until the dinner was, you know, done. I didn't want to help her with it, you know, and I was the oldest of my siblings. I didn't want to help her with it. And this was in my teenage years. I didn't want to help with the food, you know. Like if she was making a cake or something, I would come out and maybe watch or something. But I don't know, I just didn't want to help with that type of things and with cooking, and it just didn't interest me. It did not interest me at all. It just did not. And you know, she would be in there just cooking away, especially like on the holidays. And I can remember, like, my younger sister, she would seem like she was interested, but it just did not interest me at all. I was like, you know, so what, you know, she's cooking. But did not realize, you know, at that time that those were learning lessons. Those were times for me to learn from her. But I don't know, I'm just gonna be honest, you know. I like to be honest on this channel. I just did not, it just didn't interest me to cook. I didn't care about that. All I was interested in was when is the food gonna be ready, you know. I was sitting with the guy, you know, my dad and my brother, like, okay, when is the food gonna be ready? That's all I was concerned with. I didn't care about, excuse me, the process and, you know, what ingredients she was putting in. I didn't care about that. I just, when is the food gonna be ready so I can get my belly full? So again, that was being selfish, and just, you know, just didn't care. I just didn't care. I can't dress it up. But anyway, and then as far as the cleaning up, I sort of, you know, I wanted to do that. I wanted to keep, you know, my room clean and bedroom area clean and all that. But that didn't particularly interest me either, because I'm just like, okay, you know, whenever I get out on my own, I can do whatever I want to do. And so, you know, it's just a lot of things I can remember now. I'm 49 years old now, but I can remember, like, man, you know, I wish I had, you know, paid more attention to a lot of things when they were being taught to me. And please stay to the end of this video, because I'm going somewhere here. But, you know, it's just basically, you know, the Lord will place us in positions where we are to learn and to, you know, we should always be teachable. So at that particular time in my life, I was not teachable. You know, I didn't care. I was just wanting to do what I wanted to do. All I had on my mind was working, making money, driving my little car and going about my merry way. I didn't care about the things that were really important, because those things were really to prepare me for my family. And so, like I said, my mom, she didn't stress it, or she didn't get on me about, she was like, you just come in here when the food is ready. But, she didn't make us like sit in here and watch me cook. No, she didn't do that. She just would do what she needed to do and go on. But I would watch her, like I said, I would go with her. I know shopping still isn't a big thing for me. I like shopping at the Goodwill, but she likes to shop, and she'll go in a place and she'll stay in there and I'm not like that. I like thrift shopping now. I don't really particularly like going into a mall or anything. I don't know. That's just how I am. So it's like a lot of things that was in her, I've done the opposite of that, whether that's good or bad, I don't know, but the Lord has steered me another way. And so, and it's still worked out for my good. But again, as I would become older and I would marry and have my own family, then I would like realize, wow, because when me and my late husband first got married, I didn't know how to cook. So, I was like, oh my gosh, and he come from a family, his mom cooks very well. So, and she taught her boys to cook, so her young men to cook. So he came in, just through the door, he was like, hey, I know how to cook. And so a lot of things, so where I was lacking, he was, he didn't lack. And so he could cook, he could sew, he could, do all the things that I should have been doing, but he could do them and do them really well. So I was like, wow, this man is showing me up. But it wasn't a competition, it was just mainly, you can do it well. You do that well. You do it and you do it well. And so at that time, I still wasn't really, it didn't bother me. I'm like, okay, I have a husband who can cook and who can do things better than me. So what? So I still was in my, in my little emotions, or not emotions, but I just didn't have the mindset. I really didn't. And as years would go on in our marriage, it would definitely start to show where I was lacking at. Not in a bad way, but it would just become very clear to myself that, hey, I would say to myself, I should be doing that, or I should know how to do that. And the things that when I was at home with my mom, with my parents, those things would come, and there again, when we don't deal with things, and when we don't pray about things, and when we don't seek God for in things that we're, having issues with or whatever, they will come back to us. You can't escape them. They're going to come back to you. So it's just best to deal with them and to ask the Lord to help us in those areas, instead of trying to, throw it under the rug and say, okay, I'm not going to worry about that. But it's going to keep showing up in your life. And so that's what happened to me. Like I said, in our later years of our marriage, I'll say maybe in the, I don't know, maybe the 10th year or 11th year, may have even been before that, but it would definitely show, and it would show where I was lacking greatly, and not that this was, I'm not saying he was better than, I'm not saying that. I'm saying things that he was doing, I should have been doing. But there again, I was not in a teachable place to learn how to do the things that a mother should be doing for her children and for her husband, for her family. So, here I was like, wow, I'm in late, by this time I'm in my late 30s, early 40s. I'm like, why, I should be able to be cooking a big meal, like what my mom did. I should be doing this. But I was not, because I wasn't paying attention in my younger years, and I just didn't care, So anyway, we would just have little discussions, and he'll say like, and he was very pleasant and whatever. He didn't, but he was like, yeah, you want to cook, you want to cook something. And I didn't just feel comfortable doing that because, I really didn't know how at the time. But as time would go on, and so, and so our children was, they would notice that too, like, my mom never cooks, and I cooked sometime, but I didn't cook as well as he cooked. When he cooked like big, huge meals. And, you know, I may have cooked maybe some fried potatoes and maybe some chicken or something like that. But when he cooked, he laid it out, you know, and I'm like, wow, you know, he's really showing me up. But, you know, and then it started to, you know, I started to question, like, wow, you know, I'm not being the mother that I was called to be here. You know, I should be doing the things that he's doing. He shouldn't be doing this all the time. You know, I should be doing this. So when what happened, you know, instead of me being the mother that I was called to be, you know, I was allowing my husband to do things that I should have been doing. And that's not right at all. You know, a marriage is supposed to be, you know, two, not one. People, it should be two people helping, not just one. And so anyway, and again, I'm just being honest here. But so anyway, as time, more years would go on by, and so I would begin to start to cook, you know, a little bit more and things like that. And I'll surprise him and I go on in the kitchen and cook something. But it wasn't even that I didn't want to cook. It was just that I didn't have the patience, you know. I don't know. I grew up under, you know, everybody doing things for me. And not that that's not all the way bad, but it's not all the way good either. But people have always, even when I was dating, you know, I've always had things done for me, you know, people taking care of me, people, you know, shielding me, you know, just doing things for me where I didn't really had to do little or nothing. So, you know, that's how I was, you know, that was my background. So when I came into this marriage of 21 years, most of those years, you know, I brought that luggage with me. So that's why it's so important, you know, as mothers, we need to be, you know, asking the Lord to lead us, to guide us, to direct us, because, you know, and ask him to allow us to be the mother that he's called us to be, you know. And whether you're a single mother or you're a married mother, whatever it is, you know, whatever the case is, ask the Lord to allow you to be the best mother that he wants you to be. And like I said, it's not a competition. It's not to show up any other mothers or women. It's just ask him to bless you to be who he has created you to be and not who you want to be. But again, in the later years of our marriage, you know, I was starting to cook more and starting to do more, you know, as my role as I should have been doing anyway. But I would do more and everything. And it really made me feel good. And I can remember having a conversation with my aunt, one of my aunts, and because she, you know, she could cook really well, of course, but I would say to her, I said, you know, I can't cook good. I just have a issue or a problem with cooking a big meal, and, you know, things that I really like to eat, you know, I don't know how to cook them well, you know. And I would just, you know, go back and forth with her, and she said, just pray about it, you know. She said, pray over your food, you know, ask God to help you, and he'll help you even with cooking. And I said, okay, you know, I'm gonna try that. So I did, and glory be to God, you all. I feel like I may not be the best cook, but I feel like I'm cooking now meals that I never thought I would cook for my adult children and my teenager. And I'm just so overwhelmed and by the God's goodness, because I don't care how old you are. Again, I'm 49 years old, and it's like I'm like a little child now. You know, the Lord is just stripping me down and just just teaching me stuff that I should have, you know, I maybe should have already known. But he's so patient with us. And like I said, I get in that kitchen now and I'll cook up something in a minute. Whereas, you know, before I didn't want to, and then when I did want to, I just, you know, I would hurry up and cook something, and it, you know, it didn't even really taste that good because I didn't put love in it. But now I'm putting love in my food, and the kids say, Mom, that's good. And they even they even have their favorite dishes that I cook, and they said, Mom, that is so good. Like, I'll just give you an example. One dish that I really like to cook is salmon and rice and biscuits. And so Salmon was something that I grew up under, where my mom would cook that, and she would cook rice for hers too. But now I cook that, and the kids say, "Mom, that is so good." And so they're just eating and eating, and they're just so happy when I cook that. And so I said, "We're having salmon tonight," and they're like, "Yay!" You know, they're just so happy. But it's just all glory to God, because I can remember a time, you know, I would just be sitting around and like, you know, and I would even, you know, do fast food, you know, because I just didn't have a desire to cook, and just not really fully grasping my role as a mother. I'm just gonna be, you know, that's what it was. You know, I wasn't fully grasping my role, and I was trying to do everything else, you know, people pleasing, and trying to, you know, gain attention from people that didn't even really care about me in my family or friends or whatever. So, you know, when we focus on God and ask God to lead and guide us and direct us, he'll do just that. And I'm just so thankful that I can say today that I'm now the mother. I feel like I am the mother that I was called to be. It's not about getting gifts on Mother's Day. It's not about, you know, and that's where I used to be as well, you know. Okay, what can I, you know, what am I going to get? Because when we live in a different state than my parents. So on Mother's Day, you know, I would have a gift bag for my mom, and she would do me the same. And so, you know, just concentrating on gifts and, you know, things like that. That's fine. I'm not knocking that. But let's not forget what Mother's Day is truly about. It's honoring our mothers. It's, you know, celebrating them, you know, whatever relationship we have with them, it's thanking God for them. You know, that's the main thing. And, you know, I'm just so thankful that he's made me the mother, where I can say, you know, I am indeed the mother. I'm a mother now. You know, I'm a true mother now. You know, you can be a mother and have children and, you know, have that title, but are you truly being the mother that you were created to be by God? So that's where I'm at today. I'm just so thankful. Like I said, I'm cooking, I'm doing all the things that I had not been doing before. And if you, I made a video, it's been a while ago, but it's about not being the mother that I was called to be. So if you want to, please check that video out too, because in that video, I'm basically speaking about how my husband, I had allowed everything to fall on him, because he was so good in a lot of areas that I was not. But see, that was the enemy. I allowed the enemy to speak to me in my ear, and so you know, to hear the voice of the enemy, and, you know, you're not good enough, you know, this, that, and the other. But in actuality, I was good enough. You know, we are all good enough in God's eyesight. So he's gonna make us, mold us into what he would have us to be. And, you know, we're not perfect, but God knows our heart, and he knows when we're striving to do our best. He knows it. He sees it. He sits high and he looks low. So again, I'm thankful. Like I said, I'm cooking now. I'm doing everything that I should have been doing years ago. But hey, it's better late than never, huh? So I'm just so thankful. I pray that this video blesses someone. I pray that you heard the Lord speak through me, and not just me speak. And again, happy early Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. May you have a blessed, beautiful day. And remember, it's not about gifts. It's not about getting a big dinner. It's not about any of that. What it is about is that honoring your mother, and you being honored as being a mother, and being thankful for your children, being thankful for you know, the things the Lord has blessed you with in being a mother. You know, we have our children, we have our beautiful children, you know, we have our things that we've placed in our children, you know. So it's more than just what the world says. It's about what God says. And so again, being a woman of God and praying for your children, and not only praying for your children, but praying for yourself as well. So again, let's not get caught up in what the world says what a mother is, but make sure we're being the mother that we're truly called to be in the eyesight of Jesus. And Blessings to everybody. Again, happy early Mother's Day. I pray that you have a beautiful, blessed day on Sunday. And thank you for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe to this channel. Thank you all so much for subscribing and commenting on this channel. It's such a blessing to me. You just don't know. Such a blessing to me. It's a prayer answer. And I pray that you have a blessed rest of your day today. And always remember, I love you, but God loves you so much more. Bye for now.